That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
Yeah, we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Oh, yo, what is up, party people? Happy basketball season. This basketball season, everybody's fully locked in on basketball as we are in spring training, with baseball and football's over with. So everybody's locked into basketball right now, and there's a lot of basketball going on. One thing I do want to shout out though, before I get into everything else, as you guys see in the title, Zion Williamson, bro. Zion Williamson has been pretty consistent since he ever came back last month from his hamstring injury that kept him out for pretty much over the first quarter of the season. And he's been pretty consistent every single time. He's been on minutes restriction. I have to look up how many minutes he played tonight. But he's been on minutes restriction, and he still had he had 31 minutes tonight. This is the first time I've seen him over 30 minutes in a while. And so I guess that the minutes restriction is kind of being lifted off of him. But I'm saying all this to say Zion had, when he did have minutes restriction, he played 28 minutes and he had 40 points in the game. And he's doing this on a consistent basis. It's 23 points in 3 quarters, and he ends up with 25, 26 points. 11 rebounds, 7 rebounds. He fills out the stat sheet. Tonight he had his first ever triple-double, and the Pelicans led the Pelicans to their 3rd consecutive win. They didn't have any back-to-back, so he's been playing all of the games and stuff like that. And no one's talking about it. He's in the best shape of his career. He's at the reported lightest weight of his career in the NBA. Right now he's lost 20 pounds since training camp and preseason and media day. And no one's discussing it. People, when you still talk about Zion, the thing that went viral yesterday was his new tattoo. A tattoo that he had on his stomach that resembled or represented something from Naruto. It was a Naruto reference, and it went viral. That was the thing that people were talking about most about Zion Williamson this week. Zion has led the team to 3 consecutive wins once again. I believe 2 over the San Antonio Spurs and then 1 tonight against the Phoenix Suns. Both of those teams, the Spurs and the Suns, are both playing for an opportunity to get into the play-in. For the Spurs, of course, as a younger team, they want that taste of the playoffs or the postseason as kind of soon as possible for Wemby, so he doesn't get into, losing and he gets a little discouraged there in San Antonio. Phoenix, of course, you've seen what Kevin Durant has said. Reportedly, they're going to trade Kevin Durant in the offseason. But the reason why he didn't want to get traded at the trade deadline is because he said he came to Phoenix with the plan, and he wanted to see that plan through. He wanted to see, the team at least finish the season out with the group of guys that they brought in particular, the big 3 of Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and himself, which hasn't worked out. But yes, I say all of this to say Zion's playing really good basketball. And people are still making just jokes about the things that he likes, Naruto, anime, cartoons, things of that sort. His kind of background where he had a couple women kind of come out publicly speaking about him and stuff a few years ago. And then, obviously his weight issues and stuff, the stipulations that they put in this contract of you don't get your fully guaranteed contract if you're above a certain weight or your body fat percentage is above a certain, kind of limit and stuff like that. All of these things have kind of overshadowed Zion's actual story. And I feel I'm saying I have to take some accountability in that as well as a member of the media and reporting on some of these, some of the jokes that Shannon Sharp was making about him. He said the only thing that Zion can deliver you is no. He said I bet he's on time for the DoorDash order. He said that, and I wrote about the jokes that people were making about Zion and stuff. But I mean, at the same time, I was also reporting and talking about Zion being just an amazing player and kind of a once in a generational athlete. And I feel like more people kind of need to continue to tell that story. A lot of times with these sports shows and stuff like that, where you talk about Gil's Arena or you talk about Who else? It's another one of those type of shows. But like shows in that Chad Ochocinco show and everything like that. A lot of those guys, they kind of like say, "Oh yeah, he's great when he's on the court, but he's never on the court." And it's like they kind of like move past it and brush past it and just speak on this general take that they've had on someone for since they've been in the league. And I think that's not only unfair, but it's kind of just like it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible as a media member because now Zion has this thing on his name, and he's gonna have to spend, in the league, it takes like twice as long to get rid of a narrative on you. Like I've seen that firsthand with James Harden and Trae Young now. But James Harden a few years ago with the defense thing, it was like James Harden doesn't play defense. This is that. He doesn't give any effort defensively. This is that. And then James Harden started playing like relatively good defense. He started caring on that side of the floor, and no one cared. Like they still kept making the jokes. Oh, James Harden don't play defense. James Harden don't play defense. It's the same thing with Trae Young. Of people, I'm like, yo, Trae Young is doing some things that like not a lot of guards have done in NBA history, and no one's kind of giving him credit for it. Like he doesn't even make the All-Star team. Like if you suggest that he should make Team USA, people laugh at you. If he suggests that he's an all NBA caliber point guard, people kind of like, and then when you compare and you're like, Trae Young's better than XYZ point guard, some people are just like, I think Trae was good in 2021 when they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm not sure it was of late. And it's like, oh, you just admitted that you haven't watched the Hawks in the past. It's just very frustrating stuff when he's guy consistently in the top 5 for points and assists each and every single year, and people talk about efficiency and his field goal percentage and everything like that. Well, if you watch the games, a lot of times the joke is shooting to get to the foul line. Sometimes if he has nothing else going for the offense, if he doesn't see any options to pass the ball to, and the shot clock is running down and he's looking at what to do, he's going to draw a foul. And now that goes against you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you have what you have. But it is what it is, bro. It's just people not watching this stuff and just taking lazy narratives and kind of carrying it. And the problem that I have with it, as I made the argument for a bunch of times, is just like lazy narratives, like on a national scale for casual watchers. People won't even watch the game because they heard the narrative. Like, I do think a healthy narrative that is negative right now is the LaMelo Ball, can't lead a winning team, not winning basketball, from Lou Williams, when he said, you lose by 50 points, everybody in the NBA has a night like that. But the next night you can't lose by 50 points. And that's what they did. They lost by 40 points, and then they lost by 20 points. It was the worst 3 game stretch, right, of losing in like the NBA in a long time, if not ever. They lost by like 131 points in the span of 3 games. And I think that was kind of a constructive, effective way of like, criticizing LaMelo and the Charlotte Hornets and their progression as a franchise, because those guys were supposed to be way further than what they are. This is a team that was a playoff team or a play-in team a few years ago with those guys like PJ Washington, who's no longer on the team, and different other guys. There were a team, I say all of this, that was on the up and up. And it seems like all that momentum just kind of stopped because, they traded PJ and then they got rid of Rozier. And I believe Gordon Hayward's no longer on the team. You know what I'm saying? It's like they moved on into a new era, and the new era just wasn't it. It wasn't it. And what they have now is just worse than what they had before. And, I'm saying, they're moving backwards. They're not progressing the way that we thought they were with LaMelo and the LaMelo era. But going back to the Zion thing, lazy narratives are just very bad, because lazy narratives for casuals stop watching you. They don't even check for you anymore because they just go along this lazy narrative that they heard on a national media platform with people who haven't even checked in and tapped in with the games and stuff like that. And it affects your money. It affects your all-star appearances and stuff like that, which goes back to money, because if you make all-star, if you make all NBA, you get bonuses. If you get to Team USA, you get more exposure on the international basketball market. You can get some more, endorsements or whatever the case might be. It's a lot of stuff that goes into this, but the bottom line is the bottom line. This affects your bottom line when people just throw false, lazy, or just outdated narratives on you. Zion Williamson had a 27-point triple-double against Kevin Durant. He guarded Kevin Durant. He plays point forward now. He's in the best shape of his career, and he's led the New Orleans Pelicans to a 3-game winning streak without Brandon Ingram, who they traded. Trey Murphy's playing at a all-star level this year. He wasn't an all-star because they're a losing team, but they don't have DeJounte Murray. CJ McCollum's kind of just kind of there. He's just kind of like a role player. Every now and again, he'll give you a big night. Like I remember he had a 40 ball a couple weeks ago, and then he had another 40 ball, in the past month. But overall, he just kind of blends in most nights. Trey Murphy is the only other guy that's actively, consistently showing up for the Pelicans in that lineup. And he's the only guy, period, on that team that's shown up all year for them. And even Trey Murphy got hurt for a little short share in the season earlier in the year. But I say all of this to say, like, Zion's carrying that team. And what he's doing should be talked about the way that, Lasur Thompson's being talked about, the way that the Thompson twins are being talked about, the way that Amin Thompson's talked about, the way that Evan Mobley and, a lot of these guys around the league, these young stars around the league are being talked about, and it's not. And it's because it's kind of like people just kind of wrote him off. Oh, Zion Williamson, the lazy fat guy that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? And they kind of just stop paying attention to him. I get it on one end because a lot of that stuff is self-inflicted. Like Zion comes back from the hamstring injury. He does the 360 dunk, and he doesn't play in the next game because it's the back-to-back. And then the game after that, the road trip to Philadelphia, he doesn't play, and the team announces they suspended him for a game because he missed the team playing, or he's late to the team playing, and he says, I'm sorry, Miss Benson and everybody in the organization for my lack of professionalism. I'll turn it around. Ever since then, he's turned it around, and he's turned it around more than he ever has. No one's talking about it. No one's giving him that credit. And I know people say, oh, it's your job. You're a professional. You're supposed to do it. But it's just like, I feel like if you spend so much time talking down on someone about when they're messing up and when they're not doing their job, I feel like when they are doing their job, you should kind of acknowledge that and be like, yo, this person's been doing their job. It's kind of like AD earlier this season when he was in LA, right? And he was playing every single game for the Lakers, and he was playing the best basketball of Anthony Davis' career. And people are just like, oh, street clothes. And it's like, no, like, give people that credit when they're doing what they need to do. And of course, he went to Dallas and did the same thing in the first game and then got hurt. And then the street clothes again. But it's just like, I don't know. Just give people that credit. Like, if you're going to crap on somebody when they're doing wrong, give them their credit when they're doing right. I just feel like that's fair. But, what is fair? It's a philosophical question, I suppose. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to say shout out to Zion right there. February Madness. I wanted to get into this before I got into the other thing. I know it's out of order on the title and stuff. But, man, I'm going to let y'all know right now, this is about to be the worst bracket that I've ever done on camera. When it's time, Selection Sunday is in a couple weeks, March 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, because next weekend is March 8th. I'll be and then the weekend after that, that's Selection Sunday and the end of the conference tournaments and everything like that for everybody else. So, I've done the brackets on camera and posted on YouTube every year since 2021. But this year is definitely going to be my worst one. I have no idea what's going on, bro. And that's not even like some years I'm like, oh, I haven't watched enough games. I feel like I've watched a fair amount of games this season to know kind of what's going on with each team and stuff like that. It's definitely been more than in years past where I'm just like, oh, I've been Trump benching. But still, with that being said, and following the games from afar too on the nights that I don't watch them, as I'm watching somebody else, it's like, what's going on tonight? LSU lost to Alabama in overtime by 3 points, And it's like you would think LSU had a chance to like at least go Sweet 16. You know, they could peak in the Final Four, making a run to the Final Four if they get hot at the right time. Notre Dame just lost back-to-back games. They were the number one last week. They lose to NC State, and then they just lost tonight to who did they lose to? Who did Notre Dame lose to tonight? Let me see. Give me a second. So Notre Dame lost again tonight to Florida State. Tania Latson had I think 23 points and 7 rebounds. She didn't have a crazy game, this season. A lot of times like Tania Latson's just had like 40-point games. She had the double pump game winner at the buzzer in Chapel Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like she does like incredible stuff. She's led the nation in scoring for like the past 2-3 seasons. People don't really talk about it because she's on Florida State and things of that sort. But it's just like, bro, what is going on? I don't know. UCLA is like a team that like looked like they were that clear head and shoulders favorite. And now they look like, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of look mortal as well. Everybody looks mortal. UConn is dominated the Big East once again. Like they won the regular season title over there, conference title, as they should. But it's just like, can you trust UConn after they lost to who did UConn lose? They lost a couple times this season. So it's just like, I don't know, bro. Like LSU, they lost to South Carolina. You get that, right? Then they lose to Texas. You're like, okay, I kind of get that. And then they lose tonight to Alabama, and you're like, oh, what? I don't know. I don't know. And they also had like a bunch of close calls against teams that I didn't really think were on our level early on in the season. And that made me a little nervous. But then they started playing the big teams, and they were beating the big teams. I think Washington was kind of like their first test, like Washington State in the Bahamas over Thanksgiving break, and they blew them out the water. Well, they didn't blow them out the water, but it was like a 15-point win, double-digit win, things of that sort. I'm like, okay, LSU's got it. No, bro. LSU, I'm not confident in LSU. I'm not confident in Texas. I'm not confident in Notre Dame for sure. UConn is a bit iffy. USC, it's up to that supporting cast, and sometimes the supporting cast wants to show up. Kiki Irefin and Van Hoffen, and you know what I'm saying, all the rookies and stuff like that, freshmen and everything like that, the top 15 freshmen in the country coming out of high school last year. All those players, like sometimes Heckle will give you something, sometimes Kennedy Smith will give you some. And other times it'll just be the juju show, just like how it was last year. And you're like, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know. It just seems stuff just seems too undependable with USC, but not only USC, but everybody else. Notre Dame, Texas, LSU, UConn, South Carolina. I don't know. I literally do not know. Those 5 teams are like 5 of the top teams and stuff like that. But none of it is like, sometimes NC State looks like, oh, is this the year NC State does it? And it's other times they just look like the NC State that's just kind of like always around, but not good enough to be part of the elite. I don't know, bro. Iowa might do something. Iowa beat USC. But then it's like other times it looks like a team without, in a post Caitlin Clark era, trying to figure it out with the leftovers from the Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, but what I do know is that this will probably be my worst bracket that I've done on camera since I've done brackets and stuff. So that's February Madness. How's Harvard doing? Because Harvard's been my sleeper team all season. Shout out to Hermione Turner as well as always. Shout out Rock T. Shout out Ricky Smiley. They play tomorrow against Princeton. Let me see if I can see their record and stuff. They are, hold on, I'm gonna share the screen with y'all. They are 20-3. I think they're gonna beat somebody, bro. Yeah, they beat Indiana earlier this season. Where did two losses come to? Princeton. They lost to Princeton by 2. and then they lost to Columbia by 9. So they lost both games by single digits. And they got their lick back against Columbia. At the same time, while they lost both their games in single digits, they like beat Brown barely by 3 points. What did Hermione have in this game? I'm about to share this. Hold on. She had 23 and 39 minutes. She went 8 for 17, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. She's tough, bro. 3 steals. She has to do that every night too. Like there is no nights off for her. Like she has to do that. They got 3 games left in the season, in the regular season. Yeah, they'll probably win the Ivy League. I got them win the Ivy League. I think they're gonna make a run. But anyways, that's besides the point. Okay, that's Harvard. And yeah, so now some good news. I actually had this pulled up, speaking of Harvard, last night, but I forgot it. And I did a bunch of like negative stuff. And I was like, oh dang, I wish I would have got into this. I wish I would have remembered it, but I just forgot it. Hold on. Drum roll, please. Multi-talented New Jersey student, high school student earns a perfect SAT, and he's going to Harvard, man. Salute to him, bro. Salute to this young man, this young king. A high school student, this story is from News 10, NBC 10, Philadelphia. A high school student in New Jersey has accomplished an extraordinary academic feat. Sahali Nagazi at West Orange High School scored the 1600 on the infamous SAT entrance exam used by most colleges and universities. Nagazi, a senior, managed this achievement all while balancing 2 sports, serving as the president of 2 clubs, and taking multiple advanced placement classes. Shout out. Sali represents the best of West Orange High School. West Orange High School principal Oscar Guerrero shared in the news release. His achievement on the SAT is incredible, but that's just as impressive as how he manages to excel across many different activities. And Sali, as you know, if you don't know, in the real world, you're going to have to balance multiple things at the same time. So what you're doing right now, being involved in multiple things and balancing it out, I think a reason why I'm able to do a lot of this stuff in adulthood is because I did do a lot of clubs and activities and teams and sports and stuff. Like I did a lot of that stuff in high school as well and balance it out. And that kind of like just taught me how to like stay on a swivel and keep it all balanced out and not focusing on one thing. And like, okay, I'm in FBLA mode. I'm in philosophy club mode. I'm in band mode. I'm in jazz band. I'm in marching band mode. I'm in symphonic band mode. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all different types of like, I'm in French mode. Like it's all different types of things when you shut yourself out like that. Pause. Youth. I'm in, youth mode now. I'm in leadership. I'm in business. You know what I'm saying? All these things. Economics, et cetera, et cetera. So shout out to high school for that. Marietta High School to be specific. Shout out to the Blue Devils. Ooh. West Orange High School student scores a perfect 1600 on the SAT. West Orange Public Schools shared that Nagazi hopes to attend Harvard and pursue a career in law. Harvard is the best school on my list to support me in that process. Nagazi said, give me 10 years and I'll be out in the world doing something important than the standardized test. Yo, shout out to this man. Fewer than 1% of the students get a perfect SAT score in the exams. That's about 1,000 students a year. Shout out to this dude, man. This dude gets it, bro. Salute to him. And like the fact that he got a perfect score, wants to go to Harvard, will probably get into Harvard, and it's still like, it's just a standardized test. Like he has that perspective of life. He's going to make it very far. And I don't know, man. I'm proud of him. I'm happy to read that, bro. Should I do this? All right, we'll do the D9 event since that's the next thing. So have you guys heard, I don't know if you have heard, if you haven't, whatever, but there's a student from Southern. He's a 20-year-old, the son of a retired cop. Caleb Wilson, man. Caleb Wilson. Rest in peace to the young man, Caleb Wilson, who reportedly passed away from an off-campus hazing incident, a ritual with to become a member of Omega Sci-Fi, Q Dogs. And yeah, me personally, bro, I have my own takes about D9 culture, Greek life, everything like that. I'll read the story first. Shout out to Fox 8 Live. I really need to probably be reading NOLA.com. Let me see. I'm read NOLA.com. Give me a second, y'all. Hello, this is Sean Miller. All right, here we go. We'll read this one. I've exceeded my free. See? Here we go. A 20-year-old, read NOLA.com. Subscribe to the Times-Picayune. I just ain't log in. Subscribe to the Advocate. Shout out to the Advocate. Shout out to the Times-Picayune. Shout out to the Shreveport Boys of the Year Advocate. Shouts out to everybody. Shout out to the Acadiana Advocate. Yes, sir. All right. A 20-year-old Southern University student was taking part in a fraternity ritual off campus when he collapsed and later died, a source familiar with the case said. Members of Omega Psi Phi fraternity reportedly carrying out a ritual where pledges stand in line when the student collapsed, the source said. An autopsy is being performed to determine the exact cause of death. The student, identified as Caleb Wilson, was a member of the Human Jukebox, the school's marching band. The student was unresponsive when a group of friends brought him to the Baton Rouge General Hospital on the Blue Bonnet Boulevard early Thursday morning, February 27th. The group had been in North Sherwood Forest Community Park prior to being brought to the hospital, investigators said. Hospital staff pronounced the student dead and called Baton Rouge police at 3:15 a.m., triggering a death investigation. The student is from Kenner, and his father is a high-ranking member of the law enforcement in that area. I believe he retired. He worked with the law enforcement for 30 years. Southern University has issued the following statement. Southern University and A&M College is aware of an off-campus incident that may have resulted in the death of student Caleb Wilson, a junior from New Orleans, majoring in mechanical engineering. The campus community extends condolences to his family, classmates, and loved ones. Southern is cooperating fully with the Baton Rouge Police Department, which is in charge of the investigation. No further information is available at this time. Counseling services are available for Southern University students, faculty, and staff. Resources can be found at, and then this the website. Yeah, man, I have my own thing about D9 culture, everything like that. I just don't see the benefit in a lot of this stuff, bro, to be honest. Obviously, by the way, I just said that you could kind of guess I'm not Greek, but the entire thing is just, I just don't get it. Like the extremities that you have to do while you're online and everything like that to become part of this club. And then you do all of that, right? And then you get in, and then you have to pay thousands of dollars a year to stay a member. Like what I'm paying for, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a sorority, it's the sisterhood. If you're in a fraternity, it's the brotherhood. It's like you can't have no brothers as friends, or you're like your actual family, like your blood family. Like I don't get that at all. I don't get it. Like the you got to jump through hoops and everything like that, and then they take it like it's serious as a gang. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody makes, obviously, the in the D9 community and kind of like the black community and stuff like that, everybody kind of makes the comments or the jokes, the commentary about like breaking the line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll push you out the way if you're at a party and they're strolling in the middle of the party. And so it's like if you're not looking and you're walking and you, oh, my bad. Or you might even be walking towards them. You're not even bumping into them yet. And they push you all aggressively to keep on strolling in the middle. Man, ain't nobody care about your stroll. What is we talking about right now? And you know, one time I went off on this rant one time to one of my friends who's Greek. And they was like, just be respectful. But it's like what's gonna happen, bro? What's really about to happen, bro? Y'all in college, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like what's really about to happen if somebody makes a joke about y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, oh, you'll see what happened. It's like, bro, is that a threat? Like, is y'all a gang? I thought y'all was college students. Y'all gang members or y'all college students? I don't get the Greek thing at all. And then when you look at the thing that they have to pledge and they have to remember, right? When it's like, I pray to the so and so God, or the Kappa God, or the Sigma God, the Omega God, or hold on now. If half of y'all jokers is Christian, at least half of y'all jokers identify as Christian, right? So it's like, if y'all identify as Christian, in the Bible, it tells y'all that you believe in the one and only God, Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, and you declare with your heart and in your mind that Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ is Lord of your life. So if Jesus Christ is Lord of your life, and this is what you declared, then why are you reading this thing and committing it to memory that you praising the so-and-so God or the Greek gods? Hold on now. And then so people started, right, exposing that over the past few years, right? And they've gone on social media and said why I denounced my letters and this and that. And what did Greek do? What did D9 folks that didn't denounce and whoop? They started making fun of the people that did that. And I said, why are they making fun of these people? Why are they making fun of these people for publicly denouncing and letting other people know, yo, this might not align with your faith. This might not align with what you've been believing and what you've been taught your entire life, your morals, your values. So it ain't just, oh, the sisterhood, the brotherhood is so warm. I feel they're seen and is bigger than myself. I'm continuing the legacy of my family and the Black community. Like, it's not just that. You going against God and what you believe and everything like that. And the second that people brought that to YouTube and social media and said, I'm denouncing my letters because I found that this goes against my beliefs in Jesus Christ and making him the Lord of my life. And people was mocking that. Oh, y'all too woke now. Y'all too. Y'all sound like a lot of them folks that y'all be criticizing using the word work against y'all. The word woke against y'all. So it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of hypocrisy that I see in it. People's blind allegiance to it is crazy to me. Like I said, I obviously will never understand it because I'm not Greek myself, but still at the same time, it's like, dang, man, like what's going on? What are we doing? I just don't see a point in it, bro. And I saw these tweets from Jamila. Like, a lot of people were sharing tweets and their thoughts tonight. Shout out to Jamila, friend of the channel, former classmate, everything like that at Georgia State. But yeah, she was saying this, and I know this is a lot of people's like kind of thoughts and stuff. Joining D9 should be difficult. It should be exclusive. It should take time. It should never cause someone bodily harm or death. And I don't give a. It's gotten to a dang point where y'all lost the plot and the purpose. Shaking my head. A completely avoidable death. Discretion is just like an NDA. Do not protect y'all from crimes. Y'all take this stuff way too far. It's to protect the integrity of the chapter and organization's tradition, etc. Y'all use that as a way to intimidation, harm young people who look up to you. Doing was too much. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this, Jamila. And Jamila, if you're watching it, it's all love, everything like that. I just don't agree with this take because it's like y'all have lost the point. Y'all have lost the point. It's gotten to a point. It hasn't gotten to a point. This has been the thing for like ever since Greek organizations, ever since D9 organizations, ever since marching bands at HBCUs have existed. This has always been a thing of like hazing, illegal hazing, because you know that like the schools started getting in trouble for it, so they started putting in rules and everything and laws and stuff. You can't haze. Anti-hazing policies is the reason why, you know, Georgia State didn't have Kappas on campus and everything like that, right? But like, it's the reason why. It's because kids was dying from hazing. I grew up it like so it ain't get to a point. It's gotten to a point. It's gotten too far. This has been always been a thing. It's always been a thing with crossing and pledging and all these things where someone ends up dying from the hazing. It happens all the time. And it's happened for decades and decades now, for generations and generations of these college students. So it's no, I know it should not be difficult and challenging on your body. Like it is. I spoke to this one person who's Greek, right? This was when we was in school. We were still in school at this time. And I'm not even gonna say the organization because I don't want to get the folks in trouble. But we asked, was it difficult for you to cross and to become who you became? And she said, oops, I gave away half of it. She said, I'll tell you like this. You see this little saucer? They'll lay like a slice of pizza down. I would have to split that up, that little slice of pizza on that little saucer with 13 other girls. And that's my food for the day. What? What? We got homework in the morning. We got a test in the morning. I remember I had another former friend or whatever in school. And the semester they pledged, they was barely in class. And when they was in class, they looked like they just got beat up, like dark eyes, circles under their eyes, everything like that. They in sweats and a t-shirt. And this I'm talking about fashionistas. I'm talking about folks that they put it on every single day. You know what I'm saying? They got on the heels, they got on some of the hair done, pearl. Every now and again, they might bum it because, you know, it still is college. Everything like that. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to have it on. This semester, it was none but sweats, hoodies, dark circles under their eyes, coming in late, running in, everything like that. And they said, Rashad, it's all going to make sense one day. You're going to be really proud of me. I'm doing something really big. I'm thinking like you're going to be in like a Tyler Perry movie. You know me in Atlanta. Hey, man, them folks come out crossing over Thanksgiving break. And I seen it. I found out over social media. I was like, dang, why you ain't tell me? They said, I called you from an unidentified number the day before and left you a voicemail. Bro, I don't pick up the phone for no numbers I ain't got. Say, what is we talking about? Man, so I'm like, all right, I missed it. I'm so sorry I missed it. And I felt bad about it because they really wanted me there at their crossing and stuff like that. And I wanted to be there to support my friend. But it's so dang secretive and like top shotter, everything like that. I'll tell you someone else. So despite all of this, being raised by my folks, both of my folks were anti-D9. That's where I got a lot of these beliefs from, right? My someone else in my family, when they went to school, they tried to cross twice. Despite everything, like I said, from my parents, everything like that, of like they just didn't get the point. They didn't understand it. And I guess this family member really wanted to, you know what I'm saying, feel accepted, have a group of friends or whatever, a family, some type of community, some type of clique or whatever, or woot in college. Me, you know what I'm saying, I can be very to myself, but at the same time, I know a lot of people have told me I am a bit extroverted. I think it's just because of my job, you know, working in media, journalism. You walk up to a lot of strangers on a daily basis and ask them if they want to speak to you on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, so doing that on a consistent basis for the past decade, I think it's just kind of made me a bit quote unquote extroverted because I'm really, you know, naturally just shy into myself. Anyways, so this family member, I guess, you know, because they were telling me like they were having kind of like issues of building community and everything like that. So I guess they were looking for that community and pledging, and they really wanted to do it because they tried twice, and both times they didn't make it. They got cut. And I remember like the first time they didn't make it, they was like crying. They was real sad about it. And it's just like, why, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, what is the point of this jump, bro? And then it's like, if the line is long, you know, like say so-and-so cross, right? I remember one year at Georgia State, my last year, and like 50 girls crossed or whatever. They said, dang, y'all just let everybody in, huh? And it's like, I don't like it, bro. I don't like it at all. I don't like the snootiness of it. I don't like the nose up energy. I don't like none of it, bro. I don't like the little kind of fake gangster tough guy thing. It's like we supposed to be in college, we supposed to be educated, and these are the people that end up being doctors and lawyers and all this and attorneys and stuff like that. And it's like it's a nice way, especially if you went to a PWI, to like when you see a black person with that, you like, oh snap, like salute, you so and so, you this, you that. And it's a nice little conversation. My so and so, my cousin, my it's a nice little short convo. It's like a good icebreaker. That's the word I'm looking for. But overall, it's just like I just see way more cons than pros, bro. And don't be saying if you against D9 culture because of hazing, you probably against marching bands. And no, I ain't saying that. We need marching bands. I love marching band. I love band. I love music. But it's like the D9 culture, I just don't see it. I just don't see the value in it, honestly. Because, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna leave out on this. I know some folks who graduated college, everything like that, was Greek, was D9, woo woo. And when they was up and they was in college and they was young, all they line brothers or sisters ride for them, right? If you make it big in life, everybody brag on you. You look at Kamala Harris, AKAs did not let a moment pass by where they didn't remind you Kamala Harris was an AKA from Howard. Asia Wilson does some AKAs does not let a moment pass without you reminding you Asia Wilson, AKA from South Carolina. Ryan Howard's Greek. Not a moment goes by where other folks don't remind you that Ryan Howard's Greek when Ryan Howard does some great stuff. You know what I'm saying? Shaq being a Q dog. Other Peppers in the NFL, he a Q dog. You know what I'm saying? I believe Jalen Hurts a Q. Jalen Hurts a Q dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like not a moment goes by that those dudes don't remind you that they're Greek, that they're D9, that they're this, that they're that, all of those things, right? And it's just like I seen folks when they was up, everybody was with them on their line and stuff like that. Oh, my line sister, my line brother forever. The moment you graduate and things get a little tough, say you might not look the same that you did in college. You might not have that job that you used to have when you first got out of college. So you kind of in between jobs. You might have, I'm saying, life might have been life and might get a kid, might have put on some weight, and I'm saying, not really look like the person that everybody loved in college, right? You call up one of your line brothers, one of your line sisters, I need some help with the groceries. I need some help with this bill. I need some help with, I ain't got nothing for you, bro. Oh, I can't help it. Oh, no. It's just like having regular friends. So at that point, what is the point? If they ain't gonna ride for you when you down and out. If you became homeless right now, they might help you out 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. They ain't gonna help you out no 2-3 years. Say you've been paying your dues to this organization, been showing up to the conferences, conventions, national AKA convention, national Omega Psi-Phi, national Kappa convention every year, right? 5-10 years. You hit 30, you go broke, you lose your job, you get a divorce, she take half the kids, everything like that. So now you're in debt from child support, you're in trouble, this and that. Life just life, right? And now you homeless. Okay, you homeless because you just got evicted out of the apartment that you had to lease because everything happened back at home. And you ask your brothers, your line brothers, yo, I'm really down and out. Them folks is not about to put you in a house or temporary housing or something. They're not about to take care of you for the next year or two, bro. They might help you out for a month or two. That's it, bro. Because I ain't never heard. I've heard of some stories where they called their line sisters, needed $70 for some groceries, and they ain't, I can't help you, bro. I can't help you, sis. So what is the point? I done put thousands of dollars hours of my time, I done got branded. Y'all done put this little all that stuff just don't make sense to me. I don't think it's worth it. And I think the risk is way too high. People just be doing too much, bro. You talking about 18 to 22-year-olds, you know what I'm saying, running the whole thing too. Or 20 to 22-year-olds playing the big bro, playing the adults in this situation. They kids themselves. Talking about some, oh, we had to go through, you got to go through too. It's the blind leading the blind, bro. It's dumb. It's stupid. I don't think. And in marching band, because I know that this was a dude, member of the Human Jukebox. Prayers up to the Human Jukebox community, everything like that. Prayers up to Southern, period, because and the Baton Rouge community, because they just lost a student over at LSU that was a part of the little one of the athletic teams over there, right? They lost her today to a car accident, and they lose bro at Southern to this hazing incident. Last week, Southern just lost their football coach, assistant coach, Sean, who was battling with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, things of that sort for the past couple of years and stuff like that. So that community in Baton Rouge has just been mourning, especially in the educational and higher learning community over there with Southern and LSU and stuff like that. So definitely prayers up to them. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's just how. Oh yeah, I was saying the Human Jukebox. Prayers up to the Human Jukebox. But the bands, if y'all doing this on Drumline or whatever, especially at the HBCUs and everything, where people take bands so seriously and there's life or you know about some bands, y'all need to stop that too. But yeah, overall, I just don't rock with D9s. But yeah, but band need to stop that too. Bands definitely don't need to be doing that. It ain't never been that serious. It's just band, bro. All right, it's just college. Like y'all as kids, bro. Like everybody always aiming for like the big moment to say, "Oh, college was so crazy," you know. It's just school, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but I think that's a whole nother discussion on how mundane some people's adult lives can be. So it's like, since people's adult lives can be so boring and so routine and so mundane, that they hype up college to be like this wild experience and encourage you to do wild stuff because they like this the highlight of your life. You do not have to peak at the age of 22, bro. That's a whole nother discussion. You don't have to peak at the age of 22. And I seen another tweet that was like, the 30s is the prime of your life. You get smarter, you beautiful, you in shape, you this, you that, you got the most money. And it's like, who is to say the 30s gonna be the prime of your life? What if the 50s is the prime of your life? What if the 60s is the prime of your life? See, because these things, bro, I feel like when you say these things, you put a limit to like when the best could be. The best, every year of your life could be the best year of your life. From here to the last year that you on this earth, bro. I feel like you have to make that decision in your mind. Shout out to Kia Shine 2025. See, yeah, this is gonna be a great year, everything like that. 2025, I ain't gonna lie, I already took some tough moments, some traumatic moments, some tragic moments, everything like that. Done cried a lot, everything, all of that stuff, right? With that being said, some good has happened as well. And good can continue to happen if you put it in your mind that good is going to continue to happen. You know what I'm saying? And your perspective is, this is going to be the best year of my life. This is going to be the best time of my life. This is going to be the best decade of my life, the 30s. Then you get to your 40s. My 40s is going to be the best time of my life. You get to your 50s. The 50s is going to be the best time of my life. These are my golden years. 60s. Oh, these my platinum years. 70s. Oh, these my sickest now years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can keep going, bro. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff, but I feel like a lot of the outrageous and over the top things that people do in college is because older people are like, these are the best years of your life. And so you kind of put a pressure on yourself to go over the top and do the craziest stuff imaginable to say like, oh, my college was crazy. We was wild in college. I think that's a whole nother stupid thing. because it doesn't have to be college was the best time in your life. It don't have to be that way. Your 30s can be the best. Your 40s can be the best time of your life. The present day can be the best time of your life. If you decide, I'm going to have fun, this is going to be the craziest, best time of my life. I think people like creativity too. We're going to move on. All right, we're going to end with this. Epstein. Epstein. So today, the Epstein contact list came out. There was another thing that was just like a regular Epstein list, right? On Newsweek that had people's names on it and stuff. But I don't know. I thought those were the people on the plane and stuff like that. Because some people are saying, no, that's not it. And then I looked at the actual FBI documents on the FBI.gov website. It was 140 pages. And I saw 2 names on there of the people who were being transported because, I guess they had to fill out the names of who was being transported and stuff. And I did see President Bill Clinton and President Donald Trump on there multiple times throughout the time and stuff like this. This is the New York Post. Anyways, let's get into it. Who wrote this story? Shout out to Priscilla DeGregory and Ryan King. The Justice Department on Thursday evening released a long-awaited trove of documents related to the notorious sex predator Jeffrey Epstein, including his contact list, flight logs, and a list of evidence the government has amassed against him. But roughly 200-page document dumped provided no big revelations. Instead of listing celebrities and politicians who were already known to have palled around with the notorious pedophile. Attorney General Pam Bondi has since claimed a witness told her that the FBI field office in New York has demanded the Bureau fork over the material so that she could disclose it to the public. Among those famous names in Epstein's contact list released by the Department of Justice Thursday, Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger, Michael Jackson, actor Alec Baldwin, Ethel Kennedy, the mother of Robert F. Kennedy, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, supermodel Naomi Campbell, and rocker Courtney Love. Others included Bob Weinstein, the brother of Harvey Weinstein, David Koch, the late Senator Ted Kennedy, actor Ralph Fiennes, Kerry Kennedy, lawyer Alan Schwartz, John Kennedy, actor Dustin Hoffman, businessman John Huntsman, Ivanka Trump, model Liz Hurley. The president's name was not on the contacts list. So this is a whole nother thing that said he was not on there. The list is not a client list, quote unquote, but includes the names of people on Epstein's vast contacts list. While the list of names on the contacts list were revealed, the addresses and the contact information were redacted. The vast majority of the names on the list, not all of them, have been previously reported in the years of the lawsuit and documented leaks in the case. In addition to the contact list, the DOJ released a redacted list of masseuses whose names were blacked out because they were victims. There were 254 names on that list. Also in the binder were Epstein's Lolita Express private jet flight logs, which have been previously made public with redactions. 1/2 of the binder was completely redacted as it contained the names of Epstein's victims. The logs showed David Rogers' signature for the flights. Rogers was previously testified in the court that he witnessed during his time flying Epstein around. 2 copies of Epstein's Little Black Book have been already made public with 349 names of associates from the 1990s. 1 copy went up for auction. A source who reviewed a binder containing the first tranche of information called a Phase 1 said Thursday's release would likely be a disappointment for anyone hoping for bombshell revelations about any potential damning ties of high-profile politicians and business leaders to the sex trafficker. It was not immediately known if there would be any further Epstein-related information dumps, but the binder's name implied there are additional phases. The Phase 1 binder was provided to 15 conservative influencers prior to being released to the public. Now, what's interesting is that we're all waiting for the bombshells. Podcaster Liz Wheeler told followers in a live stream on X, we're all waiting for the juicy stuff. And that's not what's in this binder. That's not what's in this binder at all. And that's exactly how the Attorney General presented it to us. It's fine to feel frustrated, she added. You should feel frustrated. Critics such as Republican Representative Anna Paulina Aluna, a Republican from Florida, who leads the House GOP Task Force on Government Transparency, quickly demanded more information. I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will be simply Epstein's phone book, Luna tweeted. This is not what we or the American people asked for, or a complete disappointment. Get us the information that we asked for. Bondi has given the FBI deadline of Friday to cough up the outstanding material. The first phase of files released today sheds light on Epstein's extensive network and begins to provide the public with long overdue accountability, she said in a public statement. FBI Director Kash Patel vowed that there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned, and that anyone who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. If the records have been hidden, we will uncover them, he added. And we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully addressed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. Epstein's notorious Little Black Book first came to light in a 2009 court case and was then publicized by the since defunct site Gawker in 2015. That book, dated from 2004 and 2005, had notable entries including former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Mick Jagger, Prince Andrew, Governor Andrew Cuomo, actor Alec Baldwin, singer Jimmy Buffett, industrialist David Koch, and the former Secretary of State Harry Kissinger. The book contained the Epstein's contracts from the 90s, surfaced years later, included 349 names, 221 which weren't in the book released in 2015, including President Trump, billionaire New York businessman George Catsimatidis, I'm so sorry, Melania Trump's best friend and co-owner of the New York Jets, Suzanne Ursha. Other names included billionaire activist investor Carl Icahn, Chris Cuomo's wife, Christina Greenvan, ex-Playboy's CEO, Chrissy Hefner, and ex-New York publisher and former political mentor Al Gore, Marty Partes. No one is accused of any wrongdoing tied to Epstein. The book from the 1990s was found on Fifth Avenue in the East Village by a woman, East Side, by a woman who auctioned it off on eBay for $425 to Vermont social studies teacher Christopher Halali. Halali is putting the book on auction in March with hopes to fetch as much as $50,000. The multimillionaire sex offender pleaded guilty in Florida in 2008 to child prostitution crimes that was given a hush-hush sweetheart plea deal that only saw him served 13 months in jail on a cushy work release program. He was arrested again by prosecutors in Manhattan on sex trafficking charges and hanged himself in the lower Manhattan lockup while he was awaiting trial. His right-hand woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, was later convicted in the same sex trafficking charge case and is currently serving 20 years behind bars. So that is that. That is another night of sharing the news with you and the trending topics. My name is Rashad Milligan. As always, please take care of yourself and be safe. Peace. I'll see y'all maybe tomorrow.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.